Okay, so we're running trains. It's Friday, and Tim's got the manifest freight going out here, and lots of cars here. In
Just
fact,
24.
huh?
Just 24.
24. That's got to be rated. Yeah, that's right at the limit on the length of train. On this railroad, its max is 1,300 feet in JMRI for operational purposes. This siding right here, not where the train's parked, but the siding right here in this number one track is 18 feet long. It's three, I know because I laid the track, it's 6 sections of track long. So it's 6 times 3, 3 foot sections of track. So it's 18 feet long from foul point to foul point. So he's got a big one. And we got Tim over here. Lee, excuse me, Lee's running the grain ethanol train. We ended up with 13 ethanol cars up at the refinery and no ethanol empty cars at the fuelish productions. So we had to make some moves to get some cars done. Back here now, putting grain cars into cargo grain back there. A couple of posts lately on the net, couple Facebook pages. People talked about grain elevators and using various things to make them larger. You can go back and search through the Grande Pacific Facebook page. Ooh, gotta go way back, many years. But there was a whole thing on this grain elevator right here. The first part in the first four bins, that's a Walters kit. After that, everything is PVC pipe bought from Lowe's. Just cut it to the same length. I'm gonna say 2 3/4, 2.5 inch. Well, you can measure and make sure, but and I built the head shed up on top. Then painted it all the same colors and weathered it to look the same. Believe me, people, you just a couple of bottles of cement glue. Sit there. I even did a video on this, and you kind of run a strip of glue down one tube, and then you roll the other tube into it. You don't even have to fill in all the tubes in the back. You just put one every so often and make it come out the right length so it all, because in this case it's up against the wall. You can't see it. But if you want to have a big giant elevator, I've seen this done, not an original idea, people. The first one I saw was at the Mid-South Model Railroad Club. It was the first one. So you see this, you can't see back behind the thing. So a couple of tracks, some flood loading for the, if you had truck operations. We kind of have not finished the scene up here. You can still see the open area where we were going to put a road that comes around and put some trucks were hauling in grain and stuff from the fields. But it's a good way to make a big grain elevator. I can tell you from a painting thing, for painting the scenery here, the perspective here was not easy to get, because that's actually the second painting. I show in the video where I did it, where I had this scene here double height. Well, that makes it did make it to the building, and this is something Bob Ross will teach you if you watch some of his videos. Uh, Things have to get smaller as they go back. So by putting everything smaller than the building, it moves it back because the building's in the foreground. So he's still moving cars. The little white posts, just for those people who don't know, are where the magnets are. So this is eyesight. This is my eyesight level. So I can't see where that magnet is unless I get up on my tippy toes or something. And it saves you a lot of wear and tear on your cars. See, there's another, he's going after that post right there. I don't know how many cars he's got to put back. Yep, there he goes, he stopped. Oh, there you go. KD couplers and a KD magnet, and that's how they work. Okay, so he's just put that car on it. That's track 1 for the grain elevator. And then we have a yard out here, and we're holding extra cars. Then we have Wheat Grove Fertilizer Company here with the chemical fertilizer. This, again, this hadn't been finished either, but it serves the purpose to give us a car park. There's usually 2 tank cars here with liquid fertilizer. Big part of the whole grain business. And of course, we get grain from there, and then we bring it down here to the ethanol plant, which is 1,000 miles away. Okay. Soon we will, next weekend, back, train show. Sand Jack train show is next weekend, Saturday, the 18th. Dave's over here doing his thing.
Aimlessly wandering about.
Aimlessly. Well, we always do that. So we, this morning, had to check Rockridge. You know, one of those little things happened, you know. When you build a railroad, you know, for a lot of people who watch this, I can walk past here and I can take a look at something and say, wait a minute, this isn't right. Cars are out of place. There's too many cars on the siding, and you know. So I went back and I ran the location show cars, and then I printed it out, and I had Dave Ustoff check it this morning. Well, we think a local was printed and terminated and never run because all the cars were in the wrong place. So we had to make the computer match the location, which took us about 5 minutes to do. But it's just, you get to where you know how it all works and what, generally speaking, would go there, which any good crew in the railroad would know. One other thing, I walked by here this morning, somebody had been over here servicing this elevator here, and there was 5 cars here. Well, I know computer-wise there should only be 4. Its track length and spur lengths should only allow 4 cars to be here. So it's kind of the tip-off. Here's another example. The concrete, office cement over here is run out of concrete cars. So there's a couple of reasons this happens. And just like the ethanol cars, the fuelish production had no cars, and they're all up at the refinery. So we had to run that train to get the cars. Now, if I go here, these are yard tracks. There's 1, 2, and there's 4 more cars over there that are basically cars that were delivered by Manifest Freights. There's 2, 1, to concrete cars. So if I run the local, it'll come get these cars and spot them down there at Hoffa Cement, just like the real railroad used to do. Doesn't quite work that way in most cases today. Usually it's a class 1 railroad leaving cars someplace, and then a class 2 railroad goes and spots them. A little bit different game today. So when we don't play that way, we strictly do manifest freights and locals to get the cars to end users. And we have one of the Louisiana hot sauce cars. That's a hot car. Bringing hot sauce to Rockridge for bottling. We do bottling here. Hot sauce comes from down in Louisiana. Remember, you're in Colorado in this video. So the hot sauce comes up from Louisiana. Now we get that brought up from New Iberia. Okay. And then they bottle it here. It saves the over-the-road heavy transportation cost. Okay. You can come up, you know, you have a modeler's license. You can come up with any story you want to justify what you do. Okay. Yeah, something you don't see today. A beer wholesaler with rail car service. Another thing that's gone away. Same thing with the liquor distributors. They don't get their liquor delivered by railroads and boxcars anymore. It's all shipped by trucks. 210 net 30. I'm not going to tell that story again. But that's what happened. It's all about inventory control. Could not tell you for sure if, since I haven't worked for them now since 2008, the world famous Philip Morris is shipping any cigarettes by rail. I don't think so. They were down to 3 warehouses, so in the country, and most of the cigarettes come out of those 3 warehouses, go directly. There's no other sub warehousing done. It goes directly to wholesalers. So I don't think they do anything with rail car delivery anymore. So might get some packaging material, but generally speaking, the final finished product is done with trucks. Okay, and of course we have the wood chip cars for making paper. We're making paper here, and those are muriatic acid and mud cars. Got to have that kind of stuff to make paper. All right. Mm-hmm. Somebody's in the helix. I hear them. Oh. Lots of cars in tolling today. Kind of looking around as I go. I don't see any concrete cars here. This is another area that needs to be worked on. I have a couple of buildings I'd hope to get my hands on to put up here. Kind of hadn't resolved that yet. May have to build one. Some of the stuff up here is collector's items from other railroads. Oh. And here comes the grain ethanol train. Oh. So now we have grain cars carrying around steel beams up over the tanks. I like that. That's good. Gee. I don't want to be the supervisor here, but the ethanol car, okay, it's an empty, but you should still have an idler car. You can't carry the ethanol car behind the engine.
Well, you never told me that.
Yeah.
So whose
I,
fault is it?
why mean, you're the engineer.
Well, apparently you can. You're the dispatcher.
That's not my job. That's the rules of the railroad. You're supposed to read the rules.
Where are they written?
Yeah, oh, to be an engineer, you would have had to pass that, but there's always an idler car filled with sand between the tank car and the engine.
That's it.
What the hell? We can't even, So the holdup here is that he needs to go down the branch line, and the switcher's over there working the apex yard. And he needs to clear up. Why don't you back up and clear the switch and let him come through? Yeah, there you go.
Well, I've got to back this up too.
Yeah, he's got to back that up too. You want me to back that up? I can back it up. Believe me. We got a 5-fingered machine. Okay. Uh-oh. We're going to really gum up the works now. Here comes the California's.
Am I clear of the switch?
Yeah, you're clear. Here comes the California Zephyr. Oh, boy. Y'all got about 5 minutes. Always interesting on Fridays where we can cook up to cause trouble. Gee whiz. Pushing cars all over the place.
Dispatcher said I could park this on the main.
Okay. Why don't you put it in a siding?
Seeing how they put
Engines in the,
engines in the
track.
switching spot.
Okay. Well, somebody left their big boy parked over here, and it's taken up where the engines are supposed to go. Yeah. See, David, you better show up. I'm gonna have to pack that thing up, bring it to the show. Okay. It's taking up too much space on his layout. That's one of Mr. Jim Laughlin's engines that someone has bought. Long story about this engine. I kept trying to tell Jim you need to get it on a regular DCC system for it to work. Well, he fought whether he was trying to use it on one of those off the DC, making it all work with the bells and whistles, and he couldn't. But they fooled with the CV in there somewhere, and we've got the bell turned off. I didn't fool with it, just ran it, made sure it ran, and the horn works, and all the sound works. So, and the lights and all that, so it sounds fantastic. It's Trick's engine. And the person bought it's pretty good with the, we can go in and do a factory reset and get it working. There's one other little issue with the engine, which he's got to work on, but other than that, we actually have the box and then everything for it. We're going to put it back in and try to get it to him next Saturday. And here comes your grain ethanol train. And he's now onto the Apex in Silverville branch line, Apex Industrial in Silverville branch line. And he's going over here to the Fuelish Productions, which I showed you a little bit, that makes the ethanol. And I have a feeling most of these cars, ethanol cars, get spotted out. And maybe we'll remove some of those steel beams off the top of the car. Those are markers that they use to identify cars they got to move. So, there it is. Okay. Tim's just, the manifest freight's got to come in here and he's got to pick up and set out cars into the yard. And that's where he's at. He's working the yard. So this clears up the main line up here. You need to close, Lee, see if you got 116 on your controller and close it.
216?
Yeah, 216. And here comes the California Zephyr. See, I've framed the picture up here so it looks better.
You need 216 open for close.
You gotta hit this. Yeah, it'll reset. That's an old soundtrack sound unit. It's old enough to vote. George, you watching that? That's one of your original, I think, sound units in that engine. The sound unit in that engine's in the B unit. That's a set of Intermountain F units. And Intermountain made a B unit that had all the pickup wires and everything in it, but no motor, no gearing. But it's got the weight and it's got the all the wiring, so all you had to do is connect it up and made the B unit where that's got an old film canister for a sound where the speaker is. So it goes way back. But it works. Okay, area we haven't done, got to finish. So anyway, there goes the California Zephyr. We'll see it again here in a minute. It's coming around the other side. This is the Flatiron section. And it just went through Rawlins Tunnel. 6.3 miles long. You kind of understand. You know, we try to change up the names to protect the innocent. One of the stories. And here she comes. Uh-oh, stop. Dave,
Yeah.
back up.
Wow. She's going into tolling.
You're going into tolling.
I want to.
Oh, okay. He's going into tolling. Okay. Go pass up all the passengers at the station.
Yep.
That's what he wanted to do, get away from the passengers.
We've been up there for a decade.
Yeah, they've been
That's
staying.
the passengers. They just ruin everything.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I know what happened. Okay, so this is where we are today. Okay. Really not quite fast enough. Speed on this camera, I can see it. Okay, so the California Zephyr's coming down from Tolan. It's getting ready to go through Apex. You didn't need to see the controller. We can't pick up any passengers here either because the freight's got the station blocked. Okay.
Pay better attention to the timetable.
Well, if the passenger train wouldn't go sneaking out the station without anybody knowing about it, we wouldn't have this problem.
It's probably what's happening.
Yeah. It's the early recognition of what Amtrak was going to look like, empty. With the grain ethanol train up above at Apex Industrial, makes a nice shot. Wait. Oh, he's gonna actually make a pass in front of a station here. But for the, let's see, 2008, 18, it's 23, so we had 5. So it's 13 years she's been sitting here waiting for a train to come get her, and she's still there. So we're still switching out cars from the manifest freight, and the paper tells him where to put the car, tells him what track to put it on, so forth, and he's checking them off as he goes. That's where he's working right now, Apex. So there's this pickups, the setouts, and this is where they got to go in the yard. So, neat little program. And for all you people who keep up with Tim's Manifest Creator program, there's the guy who wrote it.
Not Manifest Creator.
What are you calling this now?
It's MR Slam Formatter.
Oh, MR Slam Formatter. It creates the manifest right there that you're seeing. Takes the data from JMRI and puts it into a format we want and how we've decided, and or you may decide it allows you to make a lot of changes to suit your preferences. If you have any questions, contact Tim Mann or contact me and I'll refer you to Tim. The two, okay, GP40s. I don't know, 40s are Rio Grande were 40s. Anyway, they usually sit back where the big boy is. They're kept around here to run the Apex Industrial, Silverville, Apex Industrial, Apex turn. It runs out of this yard too. But we moved them out here and it kind of stole some of this track right there. You see is used for switching. Lead track. Got to have some, as I affectionately call it in the world, wiggle room to move your cars around. So the manifest freight's now put back together and he's headed to Tolan. And then Tolan will be his last stop. And then he continues on to Junction. I think as the train came out of Golden, he's headed to down here to Junction. And that'll finish his, that's the end of the division, and that'll finish his work. train goes on all the way to California.
Switchman didn't.
Yeah, he didn't cup, not paying attention there. Either that or you pulled a knuckle. You broke a knuckle on the train.
I hope not. They have a stay here a while.
Yeah. That'll keep you shut down. All right. So there goes our manifest right.